At the end of Revenge of the Sith, we get a great scene that sees the Emperor, Darth Vader, and Tarkin all in the same room, examining the construction of the Death Star project up close. Given the early, skeleton-like structure of the enormous battle station, and the fact that we know from the novel Catalyst that construction started a full 2 years before the rise of the Empire, with supports for the Death Star's superstructure from pole to pole having been completed by this time, one might assume that this scene from the film demonstrated the first meeting between Vader and Tarkin. However, with the recent release of issue number 5 in the Darth Vader comic series, we now know that this was not the first meeting between the two characters. In this video expose, I will explain how Tarkin met Darth Vader for the first time, Tarkin's reaction, and the consequences of their first meeting. As seen in Darth Vader issue number 5, the first meeting between Vader and Tarkin occurred on Coruscant, not long after the rise of the Galactic Empire. With two of the Emperor's royal guards present, Tarkin was providing the Emperor with an update on how construction of the Empire's Death Star project was doing. Tarkin was confident, given how swiftly the construction process was moving along, that all construction targets and goals would be met on time. When Mas Amedda followed up by asking how the weapon portion of the construction was faring, Tarkin again was confident based upon the latest reports he was aware of. But before Tarkin could go into more detail regarding the weapon, he was interrupted when Vader entered the room and force-pushed the two royal guards, sending them flying into the glass behind them and rendering them unconscious. Tarkin not only reacted to the sight of Vader with pure shock, only being able to muster a simple trailed-off exclamation of "what?", but also with a great sense of fear. Of course, this isn't surprising, given that it's the usual response one has upon seeing Vader for the first time, particularly given Vader's uniquely broken and disheveled image, having just returned from his mission to kill his first Jedi Master and corrupt his lightsaber crystal with the dark side. When the Emperor requested that Tarkin and Mas Amedda leave the room so that he and Vader could speak in private, Tarkin naturally recoiled at the request, questioning the Emperor's instructions out of fear for Palpatine's safety in the presence of Vader. With the Emperor assuring Tarkin that he would be perfectly safe, Tarkin obeyed the instruction and left the room. This was a great first meeting between two characters who would go on to develop a successful partnership from this point on. Even Tarkin was not immune to reacting with great shock and trepidation at the sight of Vader. We know that this was the first meeting between Vader and Tarkin, rather than the scene that occurred in Revenge of the Sith, because from the time that Vader was on Coruscant, immediately after receiving his new suit and cybernetics, as seen within the film, to when he returns to Coruscant to have his first meeting with Tarkin, we know pretty much exactly where Vader was and what he was doing. Having been given the quest from Sidious to locate a kyber crystal from the lightsaber of a Jedi who survived Order 66, and then bleed the crystal to make it his own, in the immediate aftermath of Episode 3, Vader's mission took him first to a Jedi outpost in the Mid-Rim, then to the Mid-Rim moon of Aldulim, and finally to the Outer Rim planet of Mustafar, all before Vader returned to Coruscant to present his new blade to his master in person. There would have been no time for Vader to have been introduced to the Death Star project with Tarkin and the Emperor during this period. Further, we know that the meeting on Coruscant was the first between Vader and Tarkin, because in the novel Tarkin by James Luceno, Tarkin remembers that he and Vader had entered into a partnership before they'd been introduced to the secret battle station. And clearly, given Tarkin's reaction of shock and fear to Vader, seen in Vader number 5, the meeting on Coruscant occurred before there was any semblance of partnership between them. Therefore, the scene with the Emperor, Vader, and Tarkin from Revenge of the Sith could not have occurred before the interaction between these three characters on Coruscant, previously described. What's also interesting about this first meeting between Vader and Tarkin is that it would have provided the future Grand Moff with more evidence to not only assume that Vader is Anakin, but that Emperor Palpatine was Vader's Sith Master. We know from the novel Tarkin that Tarkin strongly suggests that Vader was previously Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker, and from this, as even Palpatine understood, Tarkin would undoubtedly accept that Palpatine was Vader's dark side master. Given Palpatine's assurance to Tarkin that he would be safe in the presence of the unknown figure in Vader, and that the Emperor did not share the clear shock and fear of Mas Amedda and himself, rather believing himself to be confidently secure, it's almost impossible to imagine that Tarkin can't conclude that the Emperor is the Sith Master of Vader. So there we have it, how Tarkin met Darth Vader for the first time within the current canon. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions? Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. If not for me... For even more first impressions...